Welcome to the DriveLife Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the DriveLife Podcast. Today I'm here with Bav from Yiannimize and Paul from JPC Specialist Motorsport. Welcome back, Paul.
Thank you very much.
We're filming today again at the lovely surrounds in the Motorist. Thank you very much to those guys for being our venue sponsor. Let's get started. So this is a bit of a special podcast, isn't it? Because we had Paul on about 6 months ago to discuss some events you've got going on. In the meantime, I've also been speaking to yourself, Bav.
Yep.
And everything has kind of come together in a nice kind of way to link the various things we've been talking about. So yeah, where do you want to start?
It's been a bit of a weird one, isn't it, really? So, you know, we've been talking for about a year now.
Yes,
I think. Yeah. So obviously Yiannimize, we started doing events, and then our paths crossed and we started chatting, and we were talking more around how we could use your platform to put our events on, to get people to know about the events as much as up and down the country. And then we got chatting about that, and we started using you guys to put our events on. And then we were discussing about doing more events up and down the country. And I think we spoke about doing something up north, and you were like, "Will I do the runway? Can we do something?" And then you said, "Well, I've got another idea. Why don't I introduce you to Paul, because he's running another event."
Yep.
And there may be a collaborative approach on doing that. But yeah, we've been talking for about a year now, haven't we? So it's been interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a crazy world in the world of car events, and actually getting something together that sort of makes sense and something that you feel is going to be successcul.
Yeah, and obviously with, for what we do and for Yiannimize, we have to make sure we're doing the right events for the right reasons in the right places. We did 2 events last year, which were a roaring success, and we knew we wanted to, replicate that footprint. So when we spoke, I think it was more around what else can we do, where else can we do it, and who else can we partner up with, and do it effectively. I think that's the idea. And then in comes Paul.
Yeah. So Paul,
it was funny, wasn't it? 6 months ago, we were talking about the possibility of this happening.
Yeah.
And, sort of January time, wasn't it, Bad, that we sort of signed on the dotted line, thanks to your introduction, our positive Teams call that we had, and Bav and Yanni buying into the ethos about how we do our events, and that they're paid for events, especially the one at Croft Circuit. Yeah. And it was just trying to make sure that the 3 brands really all work together. We work together nicely, and could we introduce Bav and Yanni to the good work that we produce? And when I met Bav with Craig down in Leicester, it was. We were sort of awestruck, and I was saying this to him at the time. I says, "You have to understand, for us, they're celebrities. That's in the world that we love." And it was just a very, 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 very positive meeting, and there was lots of hard work to be done to get it over the line. But we're sat here today, having got it over the line, and I'm pleased to say that we've surpassed where we were last year already with 11 weeks to go. So something must be working.
So for anyone who didn't see the original podcast, give us a little bit of background on what the event was and how it's developed, right from Wynyard actually, and then what the new setup is now.
So 2017 was our first event at Wynyard Hall, where we had Dr. Andrew Chauvelin, the chief race engineer for Petronas Formula One team, and Tiff Nadell, our patrons. They weren't patrons at the time, but became patrons as a result of that event. And Tiff had basically turned around and said, you've created a Goodwood style event, Goodwood 25 years ago. So we'd always had this vision in our heads, me and Johnny and Graham, to take the event to Croft Circuit. So we stayed at Wynyard till 2021. Obviously didn't do the event in 2020 because of COVID, but even though COVID was around, we were able to do the event in 2021. And we were basically, the event was so big that we couldn't host it there anymore. So we, with the charity support, had to go cap in hand to Croft Circuit and say, be nice to us, because we know it's expensive to hire your track. And we hired a noisy day in 2022. And we achieved £63,500 off that one single day, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's cost to come out of that, but it raised nearly £22,500 for the charity on the day, which was phenomenal, just from one day's event. So we went back again, 2023. Unfortunately, austerity kicked in and the good old British weather last year, because I don't think we had a summer last year. I think it poured down on us twice during the thing and nearly a third time, but the good old British public still came. They didn't go away. But the event itself, from a financial perspective, wasn't anywhere near as successful. And one of the things that we attributed that to was the lack of social media presence. So obviously, getting in a partnership with Bav and Yanni, who else could you really choose if you wanted to get your name out there? And I think thanks to you seeing that potential opportunity, creating that meeting, and hence why we're sat here today talking about what the event's going to be. So historically, it's always been about having a load of cars on static display, from retros, classics, supercars, hypercars, etc., etc. But the clever part of it is allowing people to be able to go out on the track and have a passenger ride. What was quite surprising last year was the effects of austerity, people struggling to pay £20 to have a passenger ride. So we've listened to what the public have said, haven't we, Bab? And we've got two different price ranges. So sports and performance at £15 and then your supercars at £20. And lo and behold, on the online ticket sales, everybody's going for the supercar.
Yeah, I've noticed that as
well. Wear that one out.
But I think the idea, when we spoke about it, so the idea wasn't just about social media, it's about creating an event. And when we're saying an event, it's not just, it's a load of cars and it's a track. It's to create a community. It's to create an event. It's to get the local businesses involved, to get the dealers involved from a local level, and great, and get these people in, and getting the public to see cars they wouldn't ordinarily see in all in one place. You're not going to get hundreds of supercars in one place, let alone be able to go in a car and get driven around a track. That's the bonus, So yeah, look, you've got a good over 100 cars we've got on the track now, ready. From Porsches to Lamborghinis to Ferraris, ready to take people out on track. And like you said, the tickets are going really well. Obviously, the cars are on track and available. But then obviously we've got the static displays. But I think the idea with us all getting involved together is to make this event bigger than it ever has been. I think that's the general gist, and as a consequence, making it bigger and raising more money for charity.
Correct.
And that's the general gist of it, right?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things as to what's the actual goal about what we do that makes us different is obviously one is raising the money for the unrestricted operational funding for Lindsay and the team at JPC Community Farm, the charity that we support in my son's name. And the other element that a lot of people don't know is getting children and adults with special and complex needs to get out on these passenger rides and be felt to be special for that particular day and going away with lots and lots of dreams. And that work actively goes on with a lot of people knowing. And I think it's something that we need to shout a little bit more about, Mark. And I know it's something you hold very close to your heart at SC UK. And as Bav said there, it's your club members who are taking them out in their amazing cars. And I think they love that as well, don't they? The feedback we get back.
We have no shortage of people willing to do it. We've constantly got a waiting list to get out on
you
track.
had more than you needed, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Then you've got to sort of hold back and say there's a waiting list now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a great thing. Obviously, you're in this balance, and you're in a balance. It comes from the event management perspective as well, where the members are giving up their time and their car and their fuel. Fantastic. You also want to sort of give back a little bit to them, make sure that they feel they get a bit of enough time on track as well. So it's that balance of trying to make everybody happy for the benefit of a great event. What I would say about your event in particular, which is special to a lot of the other car events, is you said there's 100 plus supercars going to be on display, but just to have that opportunity to get out on track, there's plenty of runway and track events out there, not many where you can actually get as a passenger.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really special day, I think.
And especially at £20, isn't it? It's a bargain this year.
Absolutely.
Isn't it, But doesn't that just show you that we've tried to listen? And when we were sat down with the pricing for this year, we sat down we felt, look, the austerity is hitting us all hard. We all need things to look forward to. We need to price it to make it reasonable. So we have done an early bird special this year, Bob, haven't we? Where if you book your tickets online, and when we haven't decided when that early bird tickets opportunity is going to finish, but it might finish fairly soon. soon, is there's an opportunity to save money over the price on the day.
It'll be finished as soon as this podcast goes out.
Yeah. You've got 2 hours, guys. 2 hours.
But we've done family tickets this year as well.
Yeah.
And reduced the price for children as well as for adults. And we've asked people who would like to display their cars to make a contribution of £10. Now, I know that always goes down, boo, I shouldn't have to pay for my car to be at the event, etc., etc. But Bav, it does include them, their car, and a passenger. People can't expect just to allow, if you're going to display your car, but put 5 people in the car and none of them pay to be there. So we thought the £10 is really for that person to come to the event and they get in for free, is how we'd like them to look at it. But it does help us towards the cost of the event. Sure. The venue is not cheap.
Yeah. It's a fantastic venue, is Croft. Fantastic.
I think the other thing I need to make people aware of, we've historically had for the last 2 years noisy days. This is a non-noisy day. That basically means you're limited to the types of cars that can go out and the number of cars out on track at any particular time. So this year we've got 6 sessions of passenger rides.
Okay.
The racing cars this year will be on display purposes only, but we've got one thing about this, Bav, is we can choose particular cars that we like.
Sure.
So we call it the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory sort of syndrome. I was always amazed by Group B rally cars. So we've got some Metro 6R4s, Audi Quattro S1 there, some World Rally cars there, etc., etc. I'm hoping to find out from Sam Petch today from SG Petch that Steve's going to bring some of his rally car collection and them being involved in as a brand, and they've got the new BYD electric car brand there as well. So Ferrari, Bentley,
but all of that's
Porsche.
Great. It's amazing. But the iconic thing is that you pay 20 quid and you get to go in a Lamborghini around a track. Come on, look, who's not going to want to enjoy that, right?
Definitely.
The only
loads of supercars. You've got 100 cars to pick, right? There's loads of cars. You're paying 20 quid. You're going around a track in that car. That euphoric moment you're going to get.
Yeah,
as well
absolutely.
as seeing them all. It's great,
And hearing them.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So there's as much as it is a non-noisy day, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference to the person in the passenger seat going around the track and enjoying it and being in a McLaren, a Porsche, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, whatever you decide to go in. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and for spectators and passengers, so Croft as a circuit it's reasonably twisty. It's got a lot of corners. So you get that sort of high-speed experience. There's a lot of mixture of straights and quite sharp bends, which is great. So you get to experience the full, theatre of a supercar when you're there. But for the public, the viewing areas are really quite close to the track, I would say, probably closer than quite a lot of other tracks that are around, so the public get a really good viewing sort of experience as well. Yeah, it's a fantastic day. And obviously, there'll be a lot of people watching this podcast who are not familiar with the venue that we're shooting in the Motorist, but if you have been to the Motorist before, there are plenty of cars who are really regulars here, who will be on the track on the day. So if you've spotted a yellow McLaren by the owner's called Frosty on his number plate, there's a yellow McLaren. There's a blue F8, Chris's blue F8, which is here all the time because he loves this venue. That's coming out on track. There's absolutely loads of cars that you'll be probably quite familiar with if you come here or follow them on social media. And it's a fantastic chance to convert from seeing them on Instagram to being sat in the passenger seat.
I think Frosty won Supercar of the Day, didn't it? The trophy that was a beautiful trophy that was donated by Car Gods. And again, they're supporting those trophies again. So some lucky person's going to have a trophy that will take pride of place on anybody's fire.
He'll be fighting for that for the second year. He's just had his car wrapped.
Yeah,
so he's freshened it up. It looks really good.
It was funny because when I approached him, I said, I need a word with him. He thought he was in trouble at first. And then when I told him, he couldn't believe that he'd won it. And it's quite surprising how many people have not been given awards at these events. So we think it's something nice for people to be able to win. And I think it was Jack the Supercar Kid who first introduced me to Bob, and I'll tell that story next, who actually chose his car. So it's about how I met these guys in 2019.
Yeah, please do.
So 2019, we'd been doing our events. We were ready to do our third year. I wanted to go down to Motorsport International at the Birmingham NEC just to see if I could pick up any tips and any potential followers. But one of the people that I wanted to try and pick up was Yiannimize. And Jack the Supercar Kid and a little boy called Sandro Ballesteros, who races kart racing at Rochdale, both suffer with autism. So they've been following me because you don't realise who follows you. And these two little kids wanted to meet me down at the Birmingham NEC. Ideal opportunity. Jack wanted to introduce me to Yanni. Stood there in the queue, waiting, got to the point there, and Jack said to Yanni, "Hi, Yanni, do you remember me, Jack the Supercar Kid?" And I was saying to Bav earlier, whether he did or he didn't, that little kid thought he did.
Yeah,
Of course, I remember your sunshine. Yeah, how are you? Daddy, doing his showman bit, which he's absolutely brilliant at. And then he introduced me and said, "This is the amazing work that I do." So Yanni was interested in finding what I was doing. It was at that point where they were really becoming stratospheric, and obviously he didn't have the time to be able to spend with us. And then he said, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Up north." He went, "Ooh, too far up north for us." And here we are. I said to Bav, it was literally when we did the deal, a day either side of 5 years to that date when we were out at Birmingham NEC, when he said it was too far, that we've now got this partnership going. So there's another lovely part of the story is don't give up on your dreams. And sometimes they do come true, but they maybe come true a little bit later down the road than you want them to be. But it's just a wonderful story that we were sort of tip of the iceberg that we were talking about in October. And to be sat here now with the man himself sat next to us, Bob being the commercial guy behind it all, and Yanni being the face of it all. But, you know, the relationship that we've built together on what the ethos of this brand for this Yiannimize Alive, powered by JPC Specialist Motorsports, is all about, is bringing it to so many people who've never ever heard of us, and we're expecting big things, aren't we, Bob?
No, absolutely. And obviously we're still having various conversations with sponsors and people that want to exhibit because of what it's done. This is not the usual format, and it's not. And from what we were talking about this earlier about, you know, sponsorship. You know, normally you sponsor something for the day and it's just for the day. With what we're doing with social media and what we're doing with content, with video content, the sponsors are getting a lot more bang for their buck, right? So they're getting a lot more exposure. They get to come to an amazing event. They get to support an amazing event. But it's all round win-win. And that's one of the things. And when we were talking earlier about the branding and how we're going to do it and how we're going to get the noise and the people, like you said, we've sold more tickets than you would have done this time last time, right? So the trajectory is there. The public are engaged. They want to come to the event. They love the fact that the format and what you've put together. I think it's just going to work. I think it's just going to be great. And I think for anyone who wants to become a sponsor or who is already a sponsor, they're seeing the benefits already.
Yeah.
I think that's key, right? So, and we've tried to keep it all local.
Yes.
And that's the whole idea. And that was what, so when we've got an event this year in Leicester, and when we were talking about it, Mark, I was very keen to make sure it was all the local car dealers.
Yeah.
So within that demographic, and we're trying to do the same here as well, aren't we? We're trying to keep it so it's local, so people can converse and talk and connect and network within the community. And then obviously the right people. I mean, listen, you're gonna, for any car dealer, it's gold, isn't it? Listen, You've got hundreds of customers, potential customers, and supporters of brands at the event.
I think one of the things that you and I were talking about was when Tiff turned around and said that 2017 that we'd created a Goodwood of the North type event up here, is I don't want it to be like Goodwood, but what I want it to be is known and represented, as Bob was saying earlier on in the meeting that we had with the guys from the Motorists, is an event where you just wouldn't see these cars at any other event. And that makes us exclusive. And I think one of the things that Bob and I have been talking about was, and you and I had spoken about previously, was getting the manufacturers involved. It is supporting the local dealers to bring some of their historic stock up, get the bigger display units. We're currently with JCT, Porsche, Bentley and Ferrari, of them all bringing display units, because Porsche's display unit was outstanding last year.
Yeah, it was.
Mercedes bringing one. You know, it's about all these brands starting to bring these display units and making it look more and more like a Goodwood event. And they'll bring their high net worth individuals and their customers with them, and look after them and give them a bit of TLC, and then get a chance to take their own cars out on track. And as you say, some of them want to be able to take passengers out and are getting the benefit, as you say, of getting a bit of track time, but also doing something good with it as well.
It's going to be a busy day.
Always is.
It's definitely,
That's gonna
Oh,
be
do you want
busy.
to talk about? We potentially got some electric bikes coming, haven't we? We told me that instead of me doing something like 35,000 steps, getting halfway down the runway
Oh,
to go
yeah.
back
Yeah.
up again.
Yeah.
We've got. So we're trying to do a deal on some electric bikes.
Okay, yeah.
I think they sponsor one of
godsend,
the car series or something at the
That's
moment.
right,
So
yeah.
the idea behind that is we'll whiz up and down, and it means I can get somewhere much quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's like, Mark, when
Yeah.
you're putting events on, is you got like the swan effect, Bav, haven't you, where
Yeah.
you're trying to look professional, but your legs are
Yeah.
going like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's hard work. It's hard work. Last year, I bought some flashing lights for the top of my Mustang, and I drove everywhere because specifically Elvington, where we do our event, which you guys are familiar with, but it's just such a huge venue, and it's really hard to get around. But even at Croft, it's from one end to the other. My God, it will take you 10 minutes just to cover it, and that's before you've achieved what you need to achieve to then go back and deal with the other 100 things that are going on.
Oh, well, maybe we should do that then. Get a hard hat with flashing lights on for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
And a chin strap. But the funny thing is, what happens is you get called somewhere, and on your way to go into it, then somebody will grab over and say, Paul, can I introduce you to so and so? Paul, can I introduce you to this is Paul, and you're just thinking, thanks guys, but I need to get down there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go, where are you? I shouted you 10 minutes ago, and then I get it in the neck as well. So
Yeah.
maybe that'll solve the problem for us. So but we are talking to people that we would never ordinarily speak to as well, who wouldn't. And is it pertinent to maybe talk about the event that you and the guys that you and Craig's did the deal with on Friday? Because that's connected with your industry anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we're talking to not just them, but we're talking to loads of people now because it's a Yiannimize live event and it's powered by JPC. So we've got the whole package together now. So the whole thing works. So we've spoken to a lot of people. We're filming tomorrow and at the circuit, and people are very quick to get on board, and I can understand why, because they can see the exposure that the event's going to get. And obviously we will put out on the videos and on the branding, everyone that's involved sponsoring and exhibiting. That's the whole idea, right? So that's the plan. But as they book, confirm and pay, we will then start showing them a lot of love.
Absolutely.
And I think tomorrow, a massive thank you to the SCU members and my friends who've supporting, giving up their time, and some of them have taken days off work to come to the event to do the pre-launch video. So we're all excited about that. Because
It's not a hardship though, is it, Paul?
No.
It's what,
not.
Can you come and race your car around the track?
Yeah, but that's always the benefit of it, isn't it?
That is a benefit. But no, you're absolutely right. In the middle of the week, it's great to have these people supporting. And listen, even the 100+ cars that are supporting on the day, it's tyres, petrol, it's their own time. It's very noble of them.
I think
to
we've got
help
35 to 40 cars coming tomorrow, haven't we? It's people keep
Yeah,
slipping in. Am I
You're
okay?
giving my media team a heart attack, because usually we would choose 6 cars, 7 cars maybe, and now we've got 35 to 40, but we'll figure it out. It's not a problem. It's going to be great, and it's a great reflection of what the event is going to be. It's a great showcase.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of that. It's great because one thing that this event does bring, and it's coincidentally something that we on the SUK side of what we do, which is we deliberately try and make our club maybe more inclusive than your average supercar club, because we make it mixed sports and supercars. We have that element that's coming to your event, and it's, again, you've referred to win-win all round. It's another win-win all round scenario, because firstly, maybe not everybody does want to pay £20 to go around the track. Maybe that is, like you say, it's a bit too much. But equally, the experience of going around the track in a Mustang or a Porsche Cayman or whatever it might be is still a fantastic experience. So you can offer more opportunities to the driver, more opportunities to the public. And for me, as much as I love to see supercars, and I love them, but seeing variety is what I like to see. And when you can potentially see, that it's not going to be hardcore head-to-head racing, of course, but to see a McLaren and a GT4 kind of having a bit of a play on the track for the spectators and for the passengers is a fantastic experience. So I'm all for that. I think the mixture works really well.
Yeah, we were talking to the guys here at the Motorist, and we were saying about the supercar paddock, where people are having displays, and we were saying, we're not discriminating. As a Yiannimize event, we want all the cars all mixed in. So we got, Fords, Mustangs, Ferraris, Lambos, all mixed in the paddock. Everyone's invited to display their pride and joy. It doesn't matter what their pride and joy is. We don't discriminate. And we want them to come and enjoy the day and show off their car. And that's the whole idea as well. So we've got various elements. And for the show, for the whole event.
We were talking about being inspirational. So those people who've got like Focus STs and Audi S1s and stuff like that.
Yep.
But we're seeing them then talking to the guy who's got, or the lady who's got the Lamborghini. How did you get there? Well, I used to have that car 15 years ago, and it's about making it inspirational for them. So how did you do that?
Yep.
Well, this is how I decided I was going to save X amount of money and build up my deposit. And those types of things, it is very much inspirational. And I think what the SC UK members do is they're so nice that they'll just speak to people. Yeah. And, the added element of allowing our special needs and special and complex needs clients, whether it be children or adults, the only downside for the track experience is they have to be 13 plus.
Sure.
And it's a bit like the old roller coaster ride, isn't it? The kids walking all the way up and then realizes they're not big enough.
Tall enough.
Yeah. I've had lots of kids who unfortunately aren't old enough. But as I said to mum and dad, bring them. And it's something that each year, when they'll eventually get up to that ride and they're tall enough, the same thing, they'll be old enough to go out. And if they're 12 now, next year they'll be 13, they'll have that opportunity. But we've tried to make it affordable for families now. So 2 adults, 2 children at the moment on the early birds, 25 quid. So, if you can spare the extra money and have the passenger rides, fabulous. But we've tried to make it affordable as well. So we've listened to what the economic market's like there and trying to make that a positive feel-good factor. It's one of the earliest events on the calendar.
Yep.
So hopefully, people will come out. The weather's going to be nice to us in May. It generally is. Touch wood.
You booked the weather, right?
I have booked it, yeah.
Okay, great.
I've asked my mum and my grandma up there, to look after us with the weather. So.
Yeah.
Looking for your next car event, club, or venue? Find it with carevents.com. Discover thousands of upcoming events, car clubs, and car venues on the world's biggest car events platform. Search by location and radius, favorite your events, buy event tickets with these, and follow your favorite clubs and venues to be the first to hear about their upcoming events. For event organizers, you can list events, clubs, and venues free of charge, sell tickets directly in the app, and track the performance of your event. Available online and in your app store. Just search Car Events.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention one thing. The meet and greet with Yanni.
Yes, go on then. You say about it.
Yeah, I was
Obviously, Yanni's coming to the event.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Funny you should mention that. Yeah, no, he's coming to the event. So you'll see him walking around the paddock and doing his thing and meeting and greeting people. And that was a big thing as well we want to try and do and get closer to the public and have a chat and take some pictures. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I was saying to you, I said, we overheard quite a few of the kids going, who's this Tiff Needle bloke, Dad? He goes, no, it's Tiff Needle. And the kids, well, yeah, that didn't make any more sense, Dad. Who is he? And obviously explaining, original Top Gear, Fifth Gear, Formula One driver, straight over the kids' heads. And this is where we were talking about it. The kids know who Yanni is. And most of our marketing's attracting the kids to go, Mum and Dad, I want to go there. I want to go and see that guy. And it's definitely working for us. I mean, this weekend when we put a post out, it was fabulous. Yeah. And I think one of the things for us is if the kids can persuade Mum and Dad to come, and we've now tried to make it affordable rather than just one parent come, both parents come as well. So we've listened to what the audience want, but I think Yanni's definitely going to attract the younger audience. And I think having the range of cars there to create that inspiration, do you know what I mean? He's the man to do it.
Yeah, and just going back to one thing you mentioned about the charging, for example, charging £10 for a display car to come in. This is a particular topic that I think a lot of car event organisers ponder over. You appreciate that the cars that are coming are there to actually add to your event. But then at the same time, you have to view it as, well, they're going to be probably going to your event anyway. But what you are providing is you're providing them with a discounted entry and the ability to have VIP parking and present their car. So I think a lot of organisers kind of get worried about that element, but I don't think it's something to worry about. It adds to the experience for everybody involved. And ultimately, if you've got, like you say, I say if you've got a nice car, it doesn't have to be a sports or supercar. Your pride and joy is your pride and joy.
Absolutely.
But if you would like to come and display it at the event, then it's an extremely, it's an affordable ticket. It's a brilliant way to get into the venue and experience it all. And I think that, a lot of organisers worry about that, and I don't think they
No, I think in all our events we've kept it like that. So when we're doing Mercedes-Benz World on the 6th of May, and it's literally, and we have a little of a laugh and a joke, and we say, look, it's a ticket for your car. It's a car, not a minibus, and whoever's in the car comes in free of charge. And I think it's important. But one of the big things we do also is that we have our own photographers and videographers. So photography is a big thing, right? So we have we have event photographers, and then we share the pictures and we put it on Flickr and we put them out there, and hundreds of thousands of people go and look at the pictures and get pictures of their own car, because it's nice for someone else, a professional photographer, to take a picture of your car.
Yes.
So we do all of that, and we'll do that at the event, and we'll make those pictures available, again, free of charge, so everyone can see their car and other cars and download wallpapers and posters and all sorts of stuff. And we'll let people do that as well. So that's another thing we want to sort of do as well.
Yeah, we've got Darren from Auto Prints, who's been a massive supporter of us from day one. He'll be able to print that straight onto your keyring, your mug, fridge magnet, a T-shirt, whatever, and instantly get that picture. So if you get that opportunity of meeting Bav and Yanni and getting your selfie of it, you can get it straight on a T-shirt straight away.
Perfect.
Don't know about that.
I expect to see 1,000 T-shirts on the day. Yanni's face will be everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Everywhere.
that I can believe. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to mention, because we didn't really push it last year, is that the Top Trumps cards are available. They are available at the Motorist.
Yeah.
Thanks to them. Every single penny goes direct to the charity from them as well. So thanks to Daniel and the team here. But what we're going to do this year is, where we had the Top Trumps paddock, we're going to put the stall inside the Top Trumps paddock, so that people can relate it by it, because obviously they'll get to see some of the cars, some of the owners are there, sign the cars, because the kids loved trying to chase all the owners. I got plagued with, Paul, do you know where Bav is? I wanted him to sign the card. I thought, no, son, I don't know. Do you know what he was wearing? I'm just thinking, no, I don't know what he was wearing. And so if we've got it where we have a location, we may maybe get an opportunity where the owners can be in the paddocks at a particular time, and then the kids can come back and get the card signed as well, because they love doing that. So Tom Badesmore, who supported us with his Conan Seg, his 918 Spider, and some of his amazing car collections, he's on board this year. We've got some more conversations to have with him as well, haven't we, Bav?
Yeah, we're talking to so many people, so many great people who are now wanting to be involved at another level, and they want to do more and help us, which is amazing, and it's great. And we've got various meetings and conversations to have over the next few days. Again, to sort of solidify relationships. And even we had a good conversation with the motorists. What a great venue this place is, right? We had a great conversation with these guys and said, look, what can we do for you, and vice versa. It's about creating that partnership and relationship with these people and and people around, to see what we could help them with as much as they can help us.
Yeah,
so
Bob came up with a great idea, which was we were talking, Daniel and I, about the motorists having their own pitch. Because obviously they've got a massive following here, but obviously they're still open on the Saturday when we're at Croft. We didn't want to take the business away from them. But if some of their clients who couldn't come to the motorist want to come to the event, still have the motorist brand there, so Pav came up with a good idea of offering them some a motorist pitch for them to have their cars on display. But then that again solidifies the relationship between the motorist and us, and then talking about some future events for next year, et cetera, and Daniel was up for it. It was, the meeting went far better than either of us had expected, to be honest with you. So, and it's also about not being shy about asking for that support, or thinking, oh, they're doing really well, they don't need that support. People like McDonald's and Coca-Cola constantly advertise all the time. And you've got to, and Bav's certainly not shy about coming forward and saying, look, you're not sponsoring this event, because you have helped me with a few people who've said no, right? I thought, I haven't got that celebrity status. Just the fact of him picking the phone and speaking to you, say, hi, it's Bav from Yiannimize. Paul's told me you're not coming. I can't believe that. What, you haven't got £1,000? Yeah, put us down then. And it's like, that's happened on a few occasions.
I believe in the event.
Yes.
I believe in what we're doing. We're not,
it's not a hard sell, is it?
It's a great event, great charity. It's going to add value to the community. It's ticking so many boxes. For me, I can safely put my hand on my heart and say, listen, why are you not coming? This is we're doing this for the right reasons, and it's going to be good for you, good for us. Let's get involved. And everyone we've spoken to over the last few days have gone, yeah, it makes sense.
So even though somebody said no to me to start off with, no doesn't necessarily always mean it's no, does it? We'll give it another go. And it's proved successful, hasn't it? So
absolutely.
We're looking at those people who've said no and the reasons why they are. But then it's nothing wrong with Bob picking the phone up and saying, can you just tell me why it's a no? Is it something I can help you with, or, et cetera? And
we need to learn from it, right? So we need to learn and adapt. It's not just our way or the highway. We have to also adjust, and we have done.
And sometimes it's because it's too late. The budget's being allocated for quarter one or quarter two, et cetera. And we understand that. Sure. But what you then got to do is make sure that's not going to happen next year. So what Bav was talking to me about was making sure that as soon as the event's finished, and because it's finishing in May, we can get the feedback from everybody, say, are you up for this again? Yes, they are. All right, it'll be subject to whatever date it is. We won't find that till January from the likes of Croft. But as Bav says, you pre-sell it to them straight away. So it's booked in the diary, and it's just, that's the date it's going to be. So that when they do have their marketing spends, we're at the top of that list as, place not to be missed.
We want to make this an annual event.
Yeah, I think
we are pushing. We are
longevity, isn't it?
We're throwing everything and the kitchen sink at this event, the effort, the energy into this event to make it a roaring success, which will give us the platform to do more. And it's as simple as that. That's our intention, to make it an annual event at Croft for JPC, for the farm, and for the right reasons. The same as what we're doing this year, and we're throwing everything at it. And we appreciate the people's support. We appreciate people that have agreed to support us and are looking at supporting us and doing various things. And that's all we can ask, really. And that's what we want to try and achieve. This is not about us lining up our pockets. This is more around doing the right thing for the community and the charity, and more importantly, the people that want to come, and putting on a great event for them. That's the key, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking from past experiences, it's been a fantastic event for the last 2 years. It's great that this new format is going to bring so much more to the event. I think with you saying in terms of dealing with the sponsors, and they may have reasons to attend or to not attend, marketing spend and all of that. I think that the market right now for petrol heads is fantastic. You have so many really good events out there. But to be able to bring an event of this magnitude that far north, because I'm quite happily say all of the bigger events are definitely happening much further south, and it's a bit of a untapped market to do something like that in the area that you're doing it in. And I think it's all around fantastic, and obviously the partners that you're speaking to will no doubt be able to appreciate and realize what you are trying to achieve in that area. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
It's a bit of fate, right? Because when we spoke, then we spoke, and it was meant to be, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we figured it out.
And I think what you said was lovely. We're happy folk here. Do you know what I mean? We
I don't know about that. You're not always that happy.
No. But what he was generalising about people in the north. We are deemed to be very friendly, aren't we?
Yeah, sure.
There's no we. You're not always friendly.
No,
I'm only winding you up.
But what I'm also saying is, and you and I've had these conversations. This has been my baby for 7 years, and it's a massive jump in getting into a partnership with somebody like Bav and Yanni for Yiannimize to come on board. More so from the commercial elements and the commercial opportunities that we believed were there, Mark.
Yeah.
But when Bav turns on and says, mate, you don't realise what an amazing product you've got here, and we'll add to that. Because it's a bit like the old, is it Al Pacino? Is it, I forgot his name there for a second. What's he called? The gangster guy.
De Niro?
Robert De Niro, yeah. Is when you look at movies and you just think to yourself, who gets the heading of it all? Mm-hmm. And we had to sit there and say that Yiannimize Live by a country mile is a bigger name than ours. So you came up with Powered By, didn't you?
Yeah.
And as soon as he said it, we agreed that was the way that it is, so that these guys are supporting us to bring the event on, and the attraction, and I've got to categorically say this, being able to use the Yiannimize Live name has been massively beneficial to us. And I got quite emotional with you at some points, didn't I? And this, that, and the other. And
it's your baby. Look, and then if we're being brutally honest, it's something you've worked, you've lived and breathed it for several years for your emotional attachment to it, and then you've got the whole partnership, and it's like a marriage. You have to go through these little teething spells and make sure we're doing the right things for the right reasons. But I think you appreciate the fact that what we bring to the table and what we do and the way it looks and presents is very important, and it does what it says on the tin. That's the idea, right?
We need to get Ron Seal on here, don't we?
Well, the thing is, you got to get. It's about getting the results. It's about getting to make it a success. That's the whole idea. If we have to rebrand it as, Mark's event, we'll do it as Mark's event.
You're welcome to if you want.
If it creates a success, we just want to whatever it takes. And we've been through our changes and adaptations of what we're trying to do, and I think we're there. I think we've nailed it. We know what we're doing. It's a Yiannimize event, and these guys are helping power it and helping manage it and run it. And we'll make it a success. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, it's as we've already said, but it definitely is a win-win for everyone involved, including, most importantly, the public. Yeah. I think it's set to be a great event. So let's give people a summary of what it is. So when's the date?
It's Saturday the 25th of May.
Are you on the spot then? Yeah, no problem.
10 till 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So we're slightly later this year. One of the reasons behind that is there's an event on at Croft on the Friday. So we'd normally get access to start setting up from 12 o'clock. It's not going to be till 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So again, touchwood, hopefully the weather's going to be nice for us.
Overnight job.
Which would allow some of the bigger events stands to have more time in the morning before we open at 10. Most of it should be done. We've got overnight security anyway. So the guys who put these event stands up should have more than enough time to be able to. I think last year, Porsche's big display unit took about 4 hours to put up.
Okay.
So even if they've got the majority of it up before 10 o'clock on Friday, they can tweak with a few little bits. Sure. We're going to offer the service of being able to get all the car dealerships to bring the cars in ready, leave us with the keys, we'll put them on their pitch for them, and then obviously leave the keys with the overnight security, and then they can come in the morning and then just set them out on their on display units. We're fully averse with how the cars arrive. If you want to be next to each other, Bav, we encourage you that you arrive together and stuff like that, rather than moving cars about because you've come in 10 minutes after your friend's already got here, or you part with it. But you've got all that. You know how that works with the SC UK members. So,
but we did it 10 o'clock because we now have a lot more cars coming, right? So there's a lot more cars being on display. There's a lot more cars doing the track. So rather than them trickle through at 9 o'clock, we thought it'd give us 10 o'clock for the public arrive. And I think it just makes it easier for us to manage.
Yeah.
And everything's there ready and waiting.
And if we're ready early, we'll open it early. It'll be 9:45 or whatever it is. We don't just want people just stuck there. So if we're ready, we'll open it as soon as possible, but no later than 10. What I think is also worthwhile mentioning is my mate Marty Thompson, whose car's in the his GTS is in the Top Trumps pack. Him and his daughter last year did a charity skydive. And raised just under £6,000 for the charity. Wow. He's doing a 9-hour cycle ride from the Pennines to the track. Okay. So he's going to arrive at the track about 7:30, Bob, something like that. And then he's going to carry on around the track till 10 o'clock.
To finish his miles off.
So, so as he finishes the line at 10 o'clock to finish his charity event, I think he's raised just under £3,000 of his £5,000 target as well. There's a GoFundMe page for Marty Thomas. That will be the start of our event. So as he comes over the finishing line, we'll start from the pit lane and away, everyone, as long as they don't knock him off his bike.
I'm trying to convince Paul to do the track with him. But
I said we get a tandem bike, me and him. But if he's up front, and I'll make sure that I'm not pedaling.
That'll sell the most tickets.
Be on the electric bike, I think.
So the other funny thing was, Marty says, can I take my car out and do passenger rides on the track? I says, you want to have a word with your legs at the end of your cycle ride. See whether they're happy for you to do that.
Yeah, so look, we're May the 25th. 10 o'clock start. There's still tickets available to buy passenger rides, but they're going quick. And we did early bird to make it more affordable. And by the time this podcast goes out, we'll probably give it another week afterwards. And then we revert it back because I think we're selling out quite quickly. So we just got to be mindful of that. And again, thank you for the introduction and thanks for hosting the event on your site.
No problem.
It's all down to you.
Okay. Shameless plug, tickets available on carevents.com.
And can I be also very honest in the sense that when we first spoke and you said, Mark's going to put it on his website, and I was like, really? Is it going to work? Will the website work? Will it function? But it's held to the test of time, and the website's done what it said on the tin. Really, it's done really well. So I appreciate your help and support on that as well.
No problem at all.
That's
No, I
really
mean, it's
good.
what we're about, it's one of our core purposes reasons we exist is, we are here to support events, and that is marketing, advertising, ticketing, whatever you need.
Yeah, and likewise, we've had a conversation subsequent to when this all started working, and we've put all our events on your site now. So it's again another win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what's really, really cool about this is the conversation that you two had that didn't end up coming as a result was all three of us came together anyway. So it was like fate, regardless, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, not every conversation that you have is going to result in getting it over the line. Yeah. And that's not through anybody's fault. It's just the way that certain things pan out. Yeah. So, we were originally looking at some kind of runway event, which is one we're already involved in. We couldn't make that work for various reasons, which is, it is what it is. But then to be able to then progress that and make something happen of this magnitude as well. Yeah. Something that, I was personally really happy to see.
You should be super proud
really
because
happy.
When you made that telephone call after you came to the conversation with you and went, just been thinking, would you be happy with that? I said, let me have a look. I'll think about it. About 30 seconds. And I said, absolutely.
It took you that long?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It wasn't that long.
I told you.
Don't be building his hopes up too much here. It just made perfect sense, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think me and you were super excited to hope that conversation would happen. And I think when we had the meeting, you rang me afterwards and you said, I can't believe how well that went. That was your exact words, weren't you? And we both thought there's some legs in this. But when Craig and I came down to see you in Leicester, we didn't know it was a done deal. And I think when we sat down and listened to what you said to us, et cetera, and the first thing he said was, whatever you do, don't put anything on social media, right? And then he went and put a post out which said things happening with a picture of my car on there. And the next thing people saying, what's going on? So I can't tell you. What are you talking about? Well, it's on LinkedIn, is it? And then Gary Dales from Redline Specialist Cars reached out to me. And we've never been able to get them to come to our events. And then I met Gary down here because he uses this as his base before I went down to see my dad to go on holiday with him. And all those things that have linked as a result of it. And then I've got Redline over the line.
Yeah.
Literally over the red line.
Yeah.
Golden
So
touch.
we've got some, great people involved.
Yeah.
And great. And we can't also, we also need to thank the volunteers and the people that are working for this charity and supporting it, which is important, right? So it's also good to recognize it's as much as about the cars and the brands and the sponsors, but the people that are spending their time and energy supporting this charity and the event. It's also very important.
And rewarding their families, for their loved one giving up their time to support us is them getting the benefit as coming as one of our guests. You know what I mean? And it's just it's something we can give back. And but the most important thing for me is seeing our clients and the people and friends that we know who've got needs turning around and saying to us, there's a post that I think I sent you the picture over the weekend, and this lady had said on this comment, she goes, I can tell you this is the best event that you can ever go to. And there's no better accolade than that. But there were so many lovely comments saying, I went last year, it was fantastic, I'm coming again, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And then that just knock on and they can see that they're shared with family members and the likes. That's how that spreads that love, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So, 25th of May, tickets available on carevents.com and the JPC website. Car display tickets available, family tickets available, passenger track rides, as you say, selling out quickly. So
VIP
don't delay.
parking.
VIP parking too.
VIP parking.
Do not
Don't
delay.
forget the VIP parking.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the VIP parking doesn't include your entrance. Some people think that they pay for that and they get in for nothing.
So dig deep, people. It's for charity. Go to carevents.com. Don't hold back. Get your tickets now. Don't expect that they're going to be available forever. They are looking that they're going to sell out at some point. So get your tickets, and I'm really looking forward to it. So before we conclude this podcast, Yiannimize Live obviously is doing this fantastic event, but you have a few other things going on as well. What's happening in the immediate future that other people might want to
So on the 6th of May, we're hosted at Mercedes-Benz World.
Yep.
So we've got a car event there. And obviously then we've got Croft on the 25th of May. We've got the Yiannimize Grand Tour, which starts on the 22nd of June. So that's a week.
Jim's birthday, that.
So that's from London to Marbella. That's our tour, which was sold out. And then in August, we are in Leicester. So on the 18th of August, we're at the Leicester Racecourse. And that will be an absolutely huge event. That's a 20,000 people event. And that's going to be, looking like it'll be sold out. And then we've got a special event happening in September where we've not released the details, but we will. And that one is again something different.
Brilliant.
So there's the calendar.
He hasn't got much on really, has he?
And it'll be all on carevents.com.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, watch this space. In terms of socials, at Yiannimize Live to follow on Instagram.
For all our events.
For all the events. At BHP, which is yourself.
That's right.
At JPC Specialist Motorsport for you guys.
Yep.
At carevents.com, spelled DOT for us. So give us all a follow. We'll put some links in the description. Also, the GoFundMe for the cyclist. We'll put that in the description as well. So please donate to that. Especially if you come into the event, we'd love to see everybody cheering him on as he passes the finish line as the supercars set off. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
If you see a bow-legged man carrying a charity bucket, that's Marty.
That's him.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much for
appreciate your
both
time.
doing the podcast. Brilliant. And
Isn't there always a question that you ask at the end? I'm just prompting you that you asked me.
There is actually usually, but I've got a caveat. So usually the question is, what's your dream 3-car garage?
Okay.
However, Bav as a petrol head, I do believe he may already be at that point where he has his dream 3-car garage. So I'm going to ask you anyway, but feel free to name the cars that you've got already.
No, this is the ultimate garage.
Okay, yeah, this is the ultimate one.
The ultimate garage would probably be a LaFerrari,
Okay,
GT3 RS,
yeah,
and a Urus.
okay. So you 2 out of 3?
I've got 2 out of 3.
Okay, no problem.
So I've just got to
So we're
upgrade the
close.
Aventador to a LaFerrari.
Ferrari. That's a good choice. Strong choice.
That's it ticks all the
choice.
boxes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll have that by the 25th of May, though.
Absolutely.
Do you reckon?
I hope so.
Yeah.
How big is the LaFerrari? That big? Or
Like Sean's model, wasn't it, the last time we were on it?
Yeah. So actually, when we did the podcast for you 6 months ago, our ending question was different. We thought we'd mix it up for 2024 and the dream 3-car garage was the question I wanted to ask. So you haven't answered this question yet, but I'm putting you on the spot here. So what do you think?
You have put me on the spot, isn't it? There's so many, to be honest with you. I just saw one of my favourite cars, which was an Aston Martin Vanquish S.
Yeah. Beautiful car.
Beautiful car. V12, stunning car. The reason behind that is my love of James Bond as a kid. I would say Aston Martin DB5.
Okay.
Again, for the same reason.
Strong Aston garage.
And then a 1972 Corvette Stingray.
Okay. Iconic
And the
shape.
reason behind that is it used to have a 7.2 litre engine in top trumps in 1976 when they first came out. It couldn't be beaten by anything in that particular time.
You've seen the cost of petrol these days.
No. I'm not saying it'll leave the garage,
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But that's what inspired me as a little 10-year-old kid. That car, iconic. But I love the Stingray range themselves. I'm lucky to have a very good friend in Russ Holmes who has the latest C8 as well, which he'll be bringing tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll get to see that tomorrow. So yeah, they would be my top 3.
Brilliant. Cool. So a nice way to end the podcast is you've just mentioned one of your dream cars, the Vanquish S. I do believe that is one of the cars available for passenger rides at Croft.
Is it going to cost me 20 quid?
It will cost you 20 quid and it is worth every single penny.
Okay. Then.
Every single penny. Brilliant. Thanks,
I'd
guys.
love to go out in that,
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Looking for your next car event, club, or venue? Find it with carevents.com. Discover thousands of upcoming events, car clubs, and car venues on the world's biggest car events platform. Search by location and radius, favorite your events, buy event tickets with these, and follow your favorite clubs and venues to be the first to hear about their upcoming events. For event organizers, you can list events, clubs, and venues free of charge, sell tickets directly in the app, and track the performance of your event. Available online and in your app store. Just search Car Events.